Hello and welcome to 6 Steps to Success, my friend. I'm so happy and excited to see you. You have decided to build your business on the internet, and in today's day and age, building a business on the internet is the best thing to go for. So I really congratulate you for your vision, and let me tell you, your life is about to change. So you would be someone who's thinking that who's this guy, standing over here telling me your life is about to change. Yes, literally, I'm telling you that your life is about to change. And one thing I can promise you is that if you will stick with me for these 6 steps, 6 steps to success, if you will stick with this program, your life is about to change and you will never be the same. You will think differently, you will act differently, your financial results will change, and thus your life will change. So can I have your promise and commitment that you will stick with me for this program, my friend? Because if I can help you get success in your life, don't you think you need to give that much of time and energy and effort to this program then, right? And if at the end of that 6 steps, if you feel that this was not worth it, you can drop me a comment, you can get in touch with me, and you can tell me that it was not worth it, my friend. I would do whatever you say in that case. But I'm telling you, these 6 steps are going to give you a clear roadmap on how you can actually change your life and thus your results, and you can have complete freedom in your life, right? So I don't know, what your present situation is. Maybe you are someone who's into a job right now, right? Maybe you are someone who's into a business right now. Maybe you are someone who's completely new to this online world and who has no clue on how to build a business on the internet. But let me tell you, whatever you are, wherever you are, if you have reached thus far, it only means that this program is intended for you, my friend, because there are no accidents in this universe. Yes, I'm telling you, there are no accidents in this universe. I mean, think of it. Such a huge amount of mass, which is the sun, which actually runs the entire life on this planet, right? It is the sun which is the source of energy on this entire planet. And this huge, mass of, Earth, this is actually rotating, revolving around the sun, which is in such a big galaxy, and there are billions of galaxies, millions of stars, but still there are no accidents, my friend. And still, similarly, you coming here is just not a coincidence, my friend. You coming here, it only means that you have come here for a bigger reason. You see, you are God's unique creation, right? You are God's unique creation. I mean, think of it. You have a unique thumb impression, you have unique retina. You are unique, my friend, and you are God's highest form of creation. We humans, we are God's highest form of creation. We were built for success, and this is what we are going to go after. So my request to you is that please pay very close attention to this program and look at this, go for this program as if you have paid me $1 million for it, my friend. Can you do that? You know why I'm saying that? Because our mind works in such a way that we only value that thing for which we have paid for. Think of it. If you have not paid for anything, you might think that this is just another program. Maybe there is literally a gold in every step which I am trying to share with you, and you miss out some important information, my friend. I don't want that to happen. I want you to listen to this program as if you have paid me $1 million. Can you do that? Deal? I just want you to commit yourself for these 6 steps, because you will have that temptation to move away, because you are you've been programmed into a certain environment, and we are going to uncover that, right? So what are we going after? We are going after this thing called success, right? This is what we are going after. And what is success in business? Well, success in business means money, and we need a lot of money. We will be discussing a lot about money, and I hope you are okay with that, because money, I believe that money can solve 95% of our problems, right? And we can have whatever we want if we have ample amount of this thing called money, right? We can have whatever we want in our lives, which means that this thing can actually help us get to this thing which is called as freedom, right? Freedom to live where we want, to buy whatever we want, to have the car of our dreams, to have the home of our dreams, to have the clothes of our dream, to have the lifestyle of our dreams, right? So we can have whatever we want if we can have this thing called money, and we can have freedom, right? So this is what we are going to go after. Now, why should you listen to me? There is this guy standing in front of you, claiming that I am going to help you change your life. Why should you listen to me? Well, my friend, my name is Vinay, and I'm the founder of this community, right? And before, coming onto this online business, I was actually working as a corporate employee in in a multinational companies, and over the period of 20 years I have had an experience to work with some of the world's best multinational companies. So I have worked with companies like Whirlpool, Sony, Samsung, AkzoNobel, Nippon. So which means that I was someone who was having a corporate experience for 20 years in Fortune 500 companies in leading sales and marketing positions, and so I was having a really great career in the corporate job, right? I was making close to $100,000 per annum when I decided, something happened in my mind, something changed in my life, and I decided to build my business on the internet, my friend. And then now I am going after building an empire for myself, where I'm going after, from $100,000 per annum to $1 million per annum, which is a jump of 10 times, right? Which is a jump of 10 times, which means that I'm trying to actually, change my annual income, which was the $100,000, into my monthly income. That is my intent, and I'm going to share everything with you, how you can also do this, and why these 6 steps of success are a clear roadmap for success for you or anyone who is intending to reach, any point in time, to build a business for themselves. So my request to you is that please stick to this program right now. Think of it. I've told you about myself, so that is the reason you need to be listening to me, and I hope you will listen to me, and I will be speaking to you like as if I'm speaking to my best friend, and I will be putting in the best information in front of you with all clear intentions just to help you, my friend, right? So stick with the program. Now, have you seen people who get massive results in their life? There are people who whatever they touch, it seems as if it turns into gold. And there are other people who are actually slogging, really working really hard and thinking that, hard work is the only way to make money, or else they are clueless what to do in their life. They know nothing and they are just stuck in their lives. They don't know what to do. Have you seen such people? Those people who are actually getting every result in their life, it feels that whatever they are doing is like magic. They are getting magical results in whatever they are doing. So they try and start a business. They have a great business. They have a great personal life. They look great. They have a great health. Everything seems like fantasy in their lives. Whereas there are other people who don't know what to do in their lives, who are not getting any great results. They are making a lot of efforts but still not getting any great results, my friend. So I was someone who was actually, when I was in my corporate job, I used to work really hard. Now I was getting a decent amount of salary, but I used to work really hard, from morning till evening, every day, it was like 9 to 9 job, right? And I was really working very hard for all those 20 years. And still what was happening is that, though I was getting decent amount of money, but still I had no freedom to live my life. And when I used to look at some of the other people who were getting great results, I used to feel that what is different in them and what is different in me, because these guys, they don't have that much of, it's not about intelligence. They don't have that much of intelligence, but they have that kind of lifestyle which I would want for myself. And I used to question myself that what is that thing which is missing in me. And then something happened in my life, and I bumped across this idea which I am happy to share with you. Now think of it, assume that we are humans, right? And we are God's highest form of creation, my friend, right? So we are God's highest form of creation, and we were built for success. We were built for growth. Growth is the natural phenomena of this universe, my friend, right? So this universe, even if you plant a seed knows how to grow. A seed will grow as tall as possible, into a tree, into a plant, whatever is best possible for that seed. The seed has no capping for himself. Similarly, you look at any cat or a dog or any animal for that sake. Even an animal knows that you have to grow. So similarly, growth was a natural phenomena for humans, but still we see that few people, they get a lot of success, and few people, they are doing a lot of hard work and still failing and not getting great results. So this actually forced me to think that what is the problem, my friend, and why is this happening with me and so many people who are not getting the great results. So then I was just thinking about this, and then I got the answer, and I want to share that with you. Before sharing that with you, let me ask you a question, my friend. If I ask you, can you solve a Rubik's Cube today in front of say 10,000 people in 10 minutes? what would you say? Probably you are someone who has actually tried to solve the Rubik's Cube. I hope you know the Rubik's Cube. I'm sure you would be. So probably you are someone who has tried to solve the Rubik's Cube many number of times and have still not been able to solve it. So you would say that it's not possible. And in 10 minutes, in front of 10,000 people, it's not going to be possible, right? So you say this is not possible, and I will encourage you and tell you that can you please leave this possible, not possible business on nature, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, and let us look at something which is actually magical, which is happening and which can actually help you get those results also. And my friend, you can do it not in 10 minutes, you can do it in under 1 minute also. Let me show you something. Look at this. This guy is going to be blindfolded and then he will solve this Rubik's Cube. Look at the speed, Look at the speed. In 15 seconds, boom, in 15 seconds, he solves the entire Rubik's Cube. And you and I were thinking that in 10 minutes, it's going to be not possible. Now, similarly, think of it. Think of this life as something which was like a Rubik's Cube, and we are trying to solve and we are thinking that it is not possible. Now, what happens in a Rubik's Cube is that there is an algorithm, right? There is an algorithm. Now, you can go on the internet and check. My point is not to tell you the algorithm of the Rubik's Cube, but there is an algorithm in the Rubik's Cube, right? And once you learn that algorithm, you don't need to even look at this. You could actually close your eyes, you could be blindfolded, and you can still solve the Rubik's Cube by following the pattern. So there is a pattern of things which need to be done in a certain way so that you can get that results and you solve the Rubik's Cube. Now this gave me an aha moment. If this is the pattern, probably there is a pattern for life also, right? And these 6 steps which I am going to share with you are those patterns, are those algorithms which can help you get a lot of results and which can help you get success in your life, my friend. Now, what happened over here is that this guy was aware of certain things, right? So what is awareness? Now, let me give you an example. What is awareness? Can you look at this logo? Right? Look at this logo, right? Now, this is my logo, 10x Sleep Hub. And there are these 3 arrows which are going up, right? Can you see that these 3 arrows are going up? Now, if you see, now these 3 arrows means I want you to be growing in all the 3 departments of your life, which is the health, wealth and relationship, right? I want you to be doing well in all these 3 departments, hence the 3 arrows towards the up. Now, if you look very closely, can you see a Roman 10 and a Roman X within these 3 arrows? Can you see a Roman 10 and an X over here, right? So this is 10 and this is X, right? Now, once you have seen this, once you are aware of this, what happens? Next time, even if you will look at these arrows, whenever you are looking at these arrows, you will be able to, recognize these things because you have built some cells of awareness. Let's do one more thing, right? Look at this logo. Look at this FedEx logo. Do you see an arrow in this FedEx logo? Well, the only reason you might see a arrow in the FedEx logo is because somebody would have pointed out to you at some point in time, or else you would have, somebody would have shown you. But the chances are, if you have not seen that earlier, you would not see. But look closely, there is a white gap, white space between an E and an X. Can you see that? The space between the E and the X, white space. Do you see? Now, there is a space and there is an arrow. Once you have, now what happened? You have seen this arrow once. Now, once you see something, once you learn something, it becomes really difficult for you to go back, right? It becomes really difficult for you to go back. So once you have learned this, that there is a 10 and an X in those 3 arrows, and there is, this arrow in this FedEx, next time whenever you will be looking at these images, these things are going to pop out at you. Now you have built some cells of awareness, right? You have built some cells of awareness. Similarly, when it comes to business, we need to work on 3 important things when it comes to building a business. So let me share with you what are these 3 things. These 3 things are awareness, blueprint, and number 3 is action. Now those guys who are getting great results in their lives, who are doing really well, they are aware of certain things, right? They are aware of certain things, so they are following a blueprint. they are not doing different things, but they are doing things differently. So it's not about doing different things, it's about doing things differently. So they know certain things and they are following a different blueprint, and they are taking action, and they are getting lots and lots of results. Whereas those people who are not getting great results, they are working really hard, they are slogging in their life day in day out, and they are still not getting great results. So what is happening is they are following a broken blueprint, which is not a great blueprint, and as a result, whatever actions they are taking massive actions. Have you seen poor people? They're taking massive action in terms of labor, if you call me, right? So they are doing a lot of hard work, but still not getting this thing. Whereas few people, they don't do anything, but still they are getting a lot of this thing. So what is happening is they are following the wrong blueprint, those people who are failing, and thus they are not getting any actions. Now, how do we uncover this? What is this awareness then? Now think of it. In the Rubik's Cube, when we saw that puzzle, you look at it, that that guy was aware of that there is an algorithm. Now you and I, till the time we were not aware of that there is an algorithm, we could be struggling all the time, trying to figure out by following a wrong blueprint. And we could be taking a lot of action, but we would be failing because we don't know what is the right algorithm. Whereas, that boy, he was aware of that algorithm. So he learned that algorithm. He had a blueprint, which was the algorithm. And then he took action on that and he got a lot of results. Make sense? Just drop me a comment if this makes sense to you, right? Drop me a comment. I want this to be a two-way communication, my friend. I want you to reciprocate to me so that I know that, whatever I'm bringing in front of you, it's making sense for you. And I hope it does, because I know it's magical. Now, what is happening is that when it comes to life, we were humans, we were God's highest form of creation. I mean, look at it. All the other animals, whenever they are born, they are into their natural habitat. A deer, when he's born, probably in few minutes he can start, he stands up and starts, doing his job on his own, which is like roaming around in the jungle or whatever the case may be, right? So all the other animals, they are born in their natural habitat. Whereas we humans, when we are born, we are like completely deformed, and we have complete choice of we can do whatever we want, and we can become up to be, grow up to be whatever we wanted to be. Now this is a gift which was given to us by God, nature, universe, whatever you want to call it, my friend. So this is something which we have with us. Now we were humans, we were God's highest form of creation. But my question to you is that, have you read the user's manual, my friend? Maybe you were a Mercedes, right? And you don't know that you are a Mercedes, and you've been driving yourself like a bike. But you were a Mercedes which was supposed to actually fly, on the roads and really have a great life, but we were not aware of this. So now let us become aware of it. So what is awareness? Now this universe where we live in, this works on certain principles, my friend. This universe is working on certain principles. And what are these principles? These principles are like God's automation, right? These are like God's automation. Like, there are certain rules if you have to live in this universe, right? So there is a law of gravity, right? Do you see that? Law of gravity. Whatever you will drop, everything comes down towards the earth. Now this law does not discriminate whether you are someone who's from X country or Y country, you are X religion, you have an X religion or a Y religion, you are someone who's, tall or small, whatever your weight is, you are, whatever the condition may be, right? Now this law will not discriminate. But if you go against this law, I mean, if anyone who tries and, jumps across the building, he has to pay the consequences of this law. Even if they are aware of it or they are not aware of it, they will have to pay the consequences. So these guys who are following the wrong blueprint, if they are not aware of certain things, they will have to bear the consequences, come what may. They can't escape this thing because this was a law. Now you can't see where is gravitation. I mean, you can experience it, that it is there, but you can't see it, right? Now we are living in a universe where the invisible is more powerful than the visible. Now look at it. I mean, this is one example. There is a law of energy, right? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be, transformed from one form to the other, right? Now this is what science is saying, and There is law of motion, which is always working. So there are many laws of, physics, chemistry, and all those subjects, science, we may call it, which are always working. How do they work? Nobody knows, but what do they do? We all know. And these laws are not something which is been invented by man. They have been discovered by man. So Newton did not invent the law of gravity. He only discovered that there was gravity. Now gravity was there probably 2000 years ago also. By the time he discovered it, it was there from the very beginning of the creation. But he only one fine day he actually recognized it, discovered it, and bring it to the notice of everyone. And then we started to actually harness that law. When we became aware of that law of gravitation, we could harness that law and we could come up with things which could actually give us better results. Does that make sense? Right? Now similarly, this law, like there are different laws of principles of this universe which are actually being operated by God, which is like the gravity, law of motion, law of energy. Similarly, there is a law which decides that how much money you or me can make on this planet, which is called as the law of compensation. Law of compensation. So law of compensation states three things. Number one is that we will be paid in accordance to the need for what we do. Let me just remove this. The need for what you do. Number two, your ability to do it. And number three, how difficult it is to replace you. Now think of it, anyone and everyone who is getting paid today is getting paid in tandem to these laws. He could be someone who's in a job or somebody who's in a business. He could be someone who's a cricketer, somebody who's a film star, an actor, whosoever he is. It's according to the need for what they are doing. There has to be a need for what they are doing, their ability to do it, and how difficult it is to replace you. Now we are going after success and we have to build a business for ourselves, right? So we will be working in tandem in accordance to these laws which are actually rooted into the principles of this universe. So this is something which is governed by universe, nature, God, not you and not me, right? So this is something which is over there, the need for what you do, your ability to do it, how difficult it is to replace you. So what we will do is, we do not need to create any need. So there is ample amount of need in the market. We do not need to create any need. And we need to only identify that need, and what we will do is that we will solve that need. So we will give a solution to that need. We will solve that need, right? So we will solve that need. And what we are going to do is that we are going to work, once we solve that, we will work on our ability to solve that need, and we will try and become better and better and better in that, right? And guess what happens? If we become really good in this, it will become really difficult to replace us, right? So if you are actually solving some problem, and if you are actually, it could be with your product or somebody else's product, but if you are solving somebody's problem, if you are solving somebody's need, right? If we are solving somebody's need, guess what? And if we are doing it in the right manner, and if we go on the internet, and if we reach to many people, we can serve to a lot of people on the internet, and what happens in return is we get paid, right? We make a lot of money. And this time we will be playing in accordance to the principles of this universe, my friend. So whatever we are going to uncover on these 6 steps, which is the journey which is coming in front of you. So this was just a pre-framer, right? This is just a pre-frame video. This is just the foundation step, and from next step I'm going to tell you about the 6 steps which can actually help you change your life and your results. So what is the journey going to be? Let me just quickly tell you what is the journey going to be. Now supposingly if this is our current situation, right? If this is our current situation, this is us over here, and this is where we want to go, right? This is where we want to go. So we will have to take certain steps, right? So these 6 steps are going to be those steps, right? Now we have a choice how I want to reach to that level. I mean, think of it. If I have a target of making $1 million, I can probably decide that, I want to do some kind of a job also, or I want to, sell some other kind of a product or a service where I want to make money. I could be really hard and rigid on that I want to do this only to make this much amount of money. Guess what happens? If someone who is actually, into some kind of a business where he wants to make money, where he can only make some limited amount of money, what will happen? He will still reach there, but probably it's like going on the bicycle, and he might take a longer time to reach to that level. So probably if he is someone, I mean, guess what? If someone is doing a job also, and if he decides to make $1 million, he could reach there probably in 30 years, right? So he could take probably 30 years to reach to that place. Now someone who is in a better job or in a better business and can think of reaching to his dream destination, so he changes his vehicle, he says that I want to have a better business or a better car, and he upgrades to a car, and then what happens is that he can reach there probably in 20 years time or probably 10 years time. But what I am going to do, what I would recommend you to do, what we will do is that we will go on the internet, we will strategically place ourselves in such a way that we are able to reach to our dream destination. Say, aka like going in an airplane when we are going on the online, and once we are trying this, I want us to be reaching there in 1 to 2 years. So what are these 6 steps going to be? Let's come on them, right? Let's discuss them. So step 1 is have a clear vision. Now I'm going to take you deep into what these steps are, and we cannot go to step number 2 before we are completing the step number 1, my friend. Remember the algorithm in the Rubik's Cube. Guess what? If you don't follow the algorithm, the cube is not going to be solved. If you don't follow the first step, if you try it from the second step, it's not going to happen, right? So it's like you would have seen those numbered locks, right? So if you don't put the first number correct, and even if you get all the other numbers combination right, the lock is not going to open because you have not got the first step right. So we have to go build it step by step, and this is a step by step activity. So have a clear vision, which is the first step. Then we will go to the second step, which is to make a financial freedom plan. We will make a plan for our financial freedom. Then step 3 is make a game plan, where I will tell you how we will make a game plan for ourselves. We will strategically position ourselves for maximum mileage. The next step is we have to then work on building a hub. I will tell you in detail what a hub is. Then the next step will be to build a community. Of 1000 members. And then in the last step, we will focus on scale and become the best. Alright, my friends. So these are going to be the 6 steps, right? So have a clear vision, make a financial freedom plan, make a game plan, build a hub, build a community of 1000 members, and scale and become the best. And after that, if you don't get results, my challenge to you is that put this information to test for 30 days. And if you don't get any results, get in touch with me and speak to me, and I will ensure that you will get a lot of results. And let me tell you, my friend, that you are bound to get those results and your life is about to change. So are you now excited for the step one, which is to have a clear vision? I'm telling you, my friend, that you can have whatever you want in your life, and that is what God intended you and made you for. So God made you for a lot of success, and you were that Mercedes which was supposed to go at a really high pace, high speed, and enjoy life. But we have been programmed wrongly, and this is what I'm going to show you, prove you that what is our step one is, and it's going to be really amazing. Looking forward to see you in step one. Cheers, bye bye.